Joining us now in studio is Regi Haire, the incumbent candidate for Ward 3 City Council. And Regi, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, great to have you. First, just for people that may not know you, just take a few minutes and tell us about yourself.
Well, I have lived in Medina since I was 10. I graduated from Cloverleaf High School, though, but I liked it enough to stay, raised my two daughters here. They both graduated from Medina High School. Unfortunately, their careers took them outside of not only the city but the state. But the nice thing is they still like it enough to come home and visit mom and to bring their friends. And they love going through the city and checking out the restaurants, the shops. I'm an accountant by profession. Currently, I am a CFO of a nonprofit in the city of Medina, so I do work full-time. Married, my husband is Norb, and love animals. We have a cat, Stella. I've got grand dogs, 3 of them, whom I get to visit on occasion when they come home. But enjoy being in the city, love being on council, to share what I know with people, to get people to come into our city, and hear a lot of people who enjoy coming here for what we offer, and they tell their friends, and it's just a great place to live, and I've called it home for a number of years. Been involved in a lot of things here in the community, as I believe in being involved, giving back in a way. I've coached for many years. I've coached adults. I've coached children, coached my daughters as they were growing up, and I've just enjoyed being here, living here, and pretty sure I'm going to be here until I'm no longer around. So, but it's a great place to live.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Now, of course, being the incumbent here for Ward 3, what made you decide to put your hat back in the ring for another term?
Because I really enjoy what I'm doing. I work with great people. I love the members of council. They're good to work with. I don't always agree with everything, but that's what it's supposed to be about, right? We have lively discussion. I think we are very fortunate in the sense that we have a wonderful mayor. We have wonderful administration members and employees who are really committed to doing their jobs, doing them well, and they make it easy for me to be a council member here in the city, because they make themselves accessible to not only me but other members of the community, and when I have questions, I reach out to them. They're very responsive, and I've worked with great people. I think there are great members of our community that sincerely want to see our community grow and be the place that they want to continue to live in and raise their families and work, and have visitors come and visit us as well. So I've enjoyed my time on council, and I just want to keep it going.
Mm-hmm. Now you bring up a key point in your answer there. One of my questions later, so I'll move it up to the forefront since you brought it up in your last answer, and that's the relationships among council members. Yeah. And also that with the mayor as well, because you work together on all this, and that sometimes you don't get along. So how do you handle those times where you may disagree on something and try to come to that resolution?
It's just, first of all, it's a great group of people who sincerely care about the city and want to do a great job for their constituents. And one of the things that we say, and I say it often, is that even though I'm the representative for Ward 3, I'm still available for people outside of my ward, and the other members of council feel the same way. And we all are looking at just making this a great community. And so, yeah, we don't always agree on everything, but the nice thing is we are respectful to each other. We show kindness, and we have those communications and those discussions about the things that we think are best for our community. And it's not about me. It's about representing my constituents and working well with my fellow council members and the administration to get things done for our city.
And then, of course, one of the issues that's facing you as a council person is, of course, the deer population. What are your thoughts in regards to the current situation with the deer?
Well, where I live, Ward 3, I actually live across from a park, so I see the deer every day, all day. They're having babies in my yard. I see the destruction because my yard is torn up. It's a huge problem. In fact, when we've had our ward meetings, we had the 1 and 2 in April, and then in September we had 3 and 4. That was the #1 comment of the people in attendance. The deer, they're not afraid. They don't move. You yell at them, you beep at them. They're so used to being here that they're not afraid of anything. And of course, no natural predators to help, minimize the herd. So it's a huge problem, and I warn people when they come to visit, be careful when you're driving because they're in the street. They're not moving. They're eating whatever they can. So that is the #1 complaint that we hear from constituents and have been hearing about it for the last couple years. We need to continue, and I think we've done a good job working with the ODNR, with the state, with educating ourselves on what other communities are doing. But we've tried to do things, and there are people that are either in favor of culling the herd or those that are passionate against culling the herd. I'm an animal lover myself. I'm not a hunter, but I see the destruction that the deer are doing. And when you talk to Nino, our service director, he gives us the update of the number of deer that the city are picking up off the side of the road. I don't want to see that. I don't think anybody wants to see that, and they've picked up a lot this year. As a community, we need to figure out how we're going to handle this overpopulation of the deer. So we've talked about educating the community on not feeding the deer. Don't bring the deer into your neighborhood, into your yard, because they get used to somebody feeding them. So we have an ordinance against that, but also trying to find which plants. I mean, we all love a beautiful yard, right? Including myself. And I've spent hundreds of dollars trying to beautify my yard, only to have the deer eat it anyway, even after looking for those plants that are supposedly deer resistant, putting stuff out. It's not working. They're hungry. They're eating whatever they can find. So I think we need to continue to do that task of educating the community on not feeding the deer, of finding those plants that they can plant that the deer dislike the taste and don't want to eat them. But unfortunately it's not enough. They're still populating. They'll have a baby, and then the next time they'll have 2, and they may have 3. So we need to move the steps along. So currently we are in Plan B in the city, and that is having larger parcels of land where hunters can go into and hunt. Obviously being approved by the police department, the land being approved by the police department, having their tree stand, so if they should shoot bow hunting, they're going to shoot down. But I don't think it's still not enough. And I am very fiscally conservative. I ran on that platform originally, and I don't want to increase expenses to put on the taxpayers. I think we're already stretched now as it is, and so there's a Plan C, and the Plan C is utilizing the resources that we currently have in our city with our police department in our bigger parcels of land, shutting down our parks, and having the experts sharpshoot, and that's just to reduce the deer. It's not to take care of all of them, because we don't want that. We just need a more manageable herd because they're running out of food, and I see it every day. And they're going hungry, and I don't want to see that either. So that's not good for the herd.
Yeah. Now, of course, another issue is with all the development downtown and everything that's happening around the square, events, the new hotel going in,
right.
Everything in that regard is the concern for public safety, pedestrian safety. Your thoughts there on that?
Well, as much as we invite people to come into our community and share what we have to offer, it's kind of a double-edged sword in the sense that, yeah, we want people to come in. We want them to frequent our restaurants or stores. It helps with bringing income into our city, but what it also brings in is increased traffic. And so we have our primary roads that are sometimes very difficult to navigate through because of the increased traffic. And in the past, it has been typically, on your way to work or on your way home from work. But now, with my job, I am frequently driving through the city during the day, at all hours during the day, to do my work. And the traffic is there all day long. So we have put in some mechanisms. We've put in the street lights that flash, that as you go upon them, you push the button, they flash, people do stop. But I think as pedestrians, we still need to be cognizant that there are some people that still don't pay attention, and we need to do the thing that we were told from our parents and our teachers when we were little: look both ways before you cross the street, because it still happens where people get hit because someone or both are not paying attention. There are some bump outs that have been talked about on the square to help make people a little bit safer as they're trying to navigate crossing the street. But again, we need to pay attention. We need to get our eyes off our cell phones. We need to look around us and pay attention to what we're doing and what other people are doing as well, to keep not only ourselves safe, but to make sure other people are safe as well.
Mm-hmm. Again, speaking of Regi Haire, the incumbent representative for Ward 3 here in Medina, and what would you feel in the next term is probably I know we talked about these two issues, but what do you think is probably the biggest area the city could improve on in your next term? Well,
I make myself available to the residents of the city. I give out my personal cell phone number. It's my job. I'm doing my job, but I do that because I want them to reach out to me because I can't know everything that's going on in the city. I can't be everywhere. I am the committee chair for the streets and sidewalks, and what I tell people is, if there is a sidewalk or a section of a street that is dangerous, I need your help to inform me as to where they are. So I get texts, I get emails. I've asked people to tell me where they are. I literally will go and walk that street, take pictures of that sidewalk that is lifted up, and it could be a variety of reasons as to why it's dangerous. Tree roots could be growing underneath it, forcing it up. I will take pictures of that sidewalk, and I'm in really good terms with the service director. Have to be. He's wonderful to work with, and I send that information to him, and he does send his department members to that area to take a look at it, and at the very least they put in an asphalt ramp so at least people can still walk the sidewalk, ride their bikes. If there's a wheelchair, they can still get up that sidewalk until they get to trying to permanently fix that. I will drive down roads and check it out and see what the problem is, but I do need the members of the community to help me out, because there's roads in the city I've never been down, right? Mm-hmm. So I can't know everything, and I don't pretend to know everything. So I do ask their help to share that information with me, and then I, in turn, will share that with the members of the administration and the department heads, so we can go out and get them fixed, at least in the short term, so people can navigate them.
Now, if reelected for another term, is there a project or something that you would hold near and dear to your heart that you'd like to get accomplished in the next term?
I think it's still the ongoing projects that I've been working on with my fellow council members and the administration, and that is minimizing the deer, because it's been such a problem. trying to work on fixing more of the streets and the sidewalks, and seeing how we can work with the state, ODOT, maybe other elected officials at the state level to see if we can't improve the traffic flow in the city of Medina. And that is a big project, and I don't think people fully understand that it's not something the city just does on its own. We got state routes that we need to go through the processes in order to alleviate the traffic, minimize the traffic flows, or make the traffic flow better. But it's not just something that we as city council members or the administration can do by ourselves. We need to work with the state, ODOT, and other members of the community to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's also another issue as far as Medina has been built out for a while, and so we have a aging, not necessarily in terms of the people, but an aging structural component of the buildings here in Medina. Yeah. And also with workforce, everyone's looking for a workforce right now, trying to find that affordable housing for people that are entering the workforce for the surrounding businesses that we have. What are your thoughts in regards to both those issues?
Well, I know that the city of Medina, we've got just over 26,000 people living in the city of Medina. This is finishing up 5 years of being on city council, and way back in 2003 when I was appointed to a vacancy, we were built out then. The city was built out then. We look at maybe there's houses that need to come down, or if the city can purchase that property and we can do something with that land. It's a problem. We don't have affordable housing here in the city of Medina, and it's not unique to Medina. It's literally across the country. I don't have an answer for that, to be honest with you. There's a lot of people smarter than me that could come up with a way to alleviate that problem, but it certainly isn't something that's going to go away anytime soon. Right.
And now you mentioned a little earlier in one of your answers, looking out for Ward 3, and then also the council as a whole inviting those questions from residents outside the community. Right. How do you handle that balance when you deal with other members of council, where you try to represent the ward, but also others that may be caring about their ward, or even the ones that represent the at-large? How do you handle that balance?
Again, I think members of council really do work well together. Mm-hmm. If I'm presented with an issue that's particular to somebody else's ward, I will reach out to that council member and share that question, share that problem with them, and try to get them involved. And again, they're all really good with trying to handle the issues that are pertinent to their particular ward. But if it involves a committee that I'm personally on, I will try to handle that. But I will pull them in if I need to. Mm-hmm. The other really nice thing about the council members and the administration is we share information. And so, I will share an issue that somebody presents to me with other members of council to make them aware that it is something that is being talked about here in our city.
Mm-hmm. Again, speaking of the Regi Haire, the incumbent candidate for Ward 3 here of City Council. Now, if reelected to another term, and you, of course, complete that term, mm-hmm. how do you look back and judge that term a success?
I think we can judge that as a success when people stay here, when people continue to live here, they improve on their properties, make their houses beautiful, which we have a lot of here in our city, when they invite their family and friends to participate in the events that we have in our city. I think we can count that as a measure of success, because it's a place that we want to invite people to come to because we're proud of where we live. Yeah.
Great. And again, Regi Haire, the incumbent candidate for Ward 3. And Regi, you've been great in answering all of my questions, but I want to give you the opportunity, if there's anything I missed or anything you would like to talk to the voters directly, I want to give the mic to you and let you talk to them directly.
Okay. Thank you. as your city council person, I've enjoyed working with the administration and the other council members and other members of the community. It has been a privilege for me to be able to do so, and I would like to continue to be this integral part of our city government, and I would appreciate your support. And as I've said before, if you have any questions, any comments, things that you want to share to me, feel free to contact me. You can email me at my city council email address, or as I tell people, you can reach me and text me with my personal cell phone number, 330-722-7471. Thank you, and I hope to get your support in November. Thanks.
Again, Regi Haire, the incumbent for City Council Ward 3. And Regi, number one, thanks for putting your hat in the political arena. I always say it takes a lot of courage for anyone to do that, so we appreciate that, and I want to wish you the best of luck this November.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.